April 12th, 2021, and this is the reason that we want a multi-dimensional, multi-universal, multi-numeric, multi-binary, ternary, quaternary, quinary, whatever, infinite multi-binary computer. For that, it's really running on 0 and or 1, 0 and or 2, etc. all the way through. When a computer is able to do that, when a computer is able to do that, you are fully harnessing infinity bit and infinite and well, basically what I ultimately understand in this is that which is never ending, which is the count from 0 to infinity. Well, 0 and or 1 to infinity. We understand more to the fact that there might even be a full negation plate that makes no sense to us when we understand 0 and or 0 and 1 and or 1. When that doesn't make any sense, I think you just gotta have the 0 and or 0 plate. I don't think there is a 1 and or 1 plate. Because I think it's 0 and or 0 and then 0 and or 1, 0 and or 2, effectively all the way through. For the sake of I don't know. Pardon me for not knowing and actually sound like I have an attitude. So a lot of sometimes through is coming. So you'll see future times talking through me. I want you to understand that the reason I am so confident in that is that I know when we have a multidimensional computer like that, quantum systems of significantly farther down the line, aka posterity absolute, in other words, far down the line where we already succeeded, and then we have world's peace, not just world peace, meaning that we're on more than one world, that we are able to pass back a huge caches of baskets of baskets, like Easter baskets, truly. We would be able to send back to the past how to have this, how to have that, how to have this. Here's the science behind it as well. But we might actually want to learn that. So we might, in the meantime, just say, here's how to build it. Meanwhile, you might learn the science, which is really cool. As I get that you want to learn how to do it, as I do as well, since I'm saying this in the past. Which is, I want you all to understand that just because I said I had an idea doesn't mean I'm going to come to you saying, here's my idea. Truly, it is the idea of the group sending it through me in great trust that I'm going to come to them honestly and say, here is what you're telling me. So I want you to understand why I would be so confident in a multidimensional, multinumeric, multi-binary computer. Absolutely, infallibly, absolutely impenetrable by way of a virus. In fact, I encourage them to send us viruses and to try. It'll be quaint. I mean, when they're working with zeros and or ones, we're coming with zeros and or twos. In other words, the virus would be completely, how you'd have to build. In other words, the day that there's a multi-dimensional computer virus is the day where we have learned how to harness the power of an actual virus and then change the programming to whatever the hell they'd had it from, to wherever we'd have it be. So I realized when we're doing that, you're going to want to catch a cold because it's an upgrade. You're going to want to catch COVID because it's an upgrade. You're going to want to. You won't have to, but you can. In other words, we can just send the signature of it. The weird thing, this is just the sound of, this is me doing noise, like the spectroscopic signature of this, versus, you know what I mean? Okay, look, I'm doing a lot of my stuff very roughshod because I don't have the science known yet. So I'm only able to talk to you as the general public would. So basically, this is the stuff of magazines. I encourage you to come to me with stuff from New Scientist, Popular Science, Discover, these type of magazines, anytime, whenever you're talking from, because I'll be able to give it to a younger time. Because I'm back here aware of the fact that I'm speaking to myself in the future, or through myself in the past young, but of myself in the future when I would know what to do. But given I haven't learned quantum systems, I have to do it in a way that caters to my youth. So I speak about dimensions, and then I talk about colors with respect to light equating to those original numbers. So 0 and 1 might be, well, eventually we want to do it where that's just pure white. So 0 and or 2 would be, I don't know, another version. So there's black and there's white, and then there's every single color between those two rainbows. And there are multiple rainbows. There's a rainbow for every spectra, and there's a rainbow for every color. You'll find that there are infinite different choices of yellow, infinite different choices of red, infinite different choices of green, infinite, you get it. There's an infinite amount of choices because you always have different varieties of dark to light. In other words, the more dark you have to it and the less light, the shorter the wavelength. Is that true? Pardon me for a second. Okay, so that's kind of true. Apparently that's true to a degree. So the shorter the wavelength, the darker it gets is kind of true. Okay, so the darker the light. I guess what we're saying is we don't know, and so we're trying different things. I'm pretty sure gamma is a bunch of little rainbows, because what I saw in my room last year made sense. It looked like a pixel rainbow. Like a beam, a white beam, but it was the entire color of the rainbow. And it was so not just white. It was the color of... It was like pixeled rainbows. Rainbow pixelated. But what I'm trying to get at is the rainbow is in every frequency. It's just as you get down to visible light, we actually are able to separate out what we equate as this color, that color, these colors, those colors. And then when you go farther into the radio side, in fact, the longer the wavelength, the more we realize that eventually we're going to find red radio, green radio, blue. Oh my God. Right now I have to tell you, it looks like radio's in the infrared. So it's kind of a greenish color, while infrared looks like a magenta color. This is just per my, what I've seen. I also want you to note that between the two rainbows, it's extremely dark. It looks like a moat now. So there's infinite colors between those rainbows. And the magnet spectra, the torus Mobius, seems to bridge the two so that you can actually use magnetism in the light. So there's a wavelength for magnetism, and it's in the inframagnet. It's a blend. I'll go radio, micro, infra, radio, micro, infra, but it touches on visible. So I'm sure there are more torus Mobii. I'm sure there are more than just in the infrared, touching on radio, touching on visible. So there is a full, I'm touching on a lot of stuff. So I just wanted to say I'm grateful for the fact that you guys are touching back on here, knowing what I've told you, and thank you for forgiving me for all my things that I've done. And obviously I forgive you too of everything you've ever done or failed to do. So just note that it's a gift to know that we can do that, because had I hung on to what was on my conscience, had I hung on to that, had I not truly pardoned myself, I would not be able to come to you as a person and say what I did wrongly, so that I am able to correct it, even through you all. So I thank you for your service, and I thank you for all the works that you will even have done that are not even done yet. Some of you aren't even born yet. And it's a gift that I'm able to talk to you from before, and yet you are fully conscious and aware that you are absolutely alive, but in 2021 you're a twinkle in someone's eye. So it's really cool to know I really talk to the future, because reaching across time for time to my moments, like right now in 21, without shining that proof with dark energy, because I'm waiting on this beam splitter should be here today. So well, I'll be able to let you know in time, because the mail hasn't gotten here yet, so from what I gather, it's today. But then again, what do I know? April 12th. Alright, I ordered from 2 different places. I pretty much covered what I was covering in the beginning, and I've forgotten what the subject was. Pardon me, I'm kind of temporarily ADD, so like I might say, so I got what I needed out for everybody, and what else can I say? When we can do the photon thing where we have all white with respect to every color in the rainbow on bright side, and then we have all dark, all the colors of the rainbow in the dark, then you know we're really doing cool things. Because every single possible dimension of element, aka isotopes, aka radioisotopes, aka non-radioisotopes, aka you want it to be visible light, does non-radioactive chemicals. You want it to be stable compounds in other words, don't include gamma, you don't include radio. Okay, I get it. Don't include radio and don't include gamma. That seems to be true with respect to radioisotopes. Because radio in the word, that's almost funny. I thought it was only gamma. It probably only is gamma, because I'm sure you can have radio included, given diamonds have radio that they seem to frequency through with respect of graphite and graphene, which would probably be a fun laser to build with, given two-dimensional laser beams. Truly an actual length times width computer. I'm sorry, a length times width light beam. Which is funny to think about. Where the hell has been length, width, and height? Length times height is what I meant, because that's what they said light was originally. I don't know why we didn't include width. I think we saw that on the wall and thought it was two-dimensional. I don't know. It's funny to realize that light does behave multidimensionally, not just in the length and the width, or the length and the height, but the length, the width, and the height, and the time. Light behaves in time, so it's length times height. Oh, there's a lot more for me to learn. Pardon me. I believe in LMN. I believe in lambda, mu, and nu. I also believe mu can also be quantum spin. I also believe it can be not quantum spin with respect to alpha. And I also understand that there are many more wavelengths of light beyond gamma. So cheers to that. And enjoy the wavelengths. You'll also find that as you approach absolute zero, with the dark beams, you'll see that it comes from absolute zero. So it's as simple as this is matter starting point, and we can go from there. So dark energy and dark matter. Dark matter, I would assume was just really, really, really small particulates. But I don't know, because I'm back here. So dark matter might just be really, really fine, how many picometers, yoctometers, going all the way down the line until we get into super ridiculously subatomic structure. You might find that we don't have to go that small, that somebody that's more advanced than us let us play. So we're kind of playing with little Tykes blocks with respect to the subatomic, and I'm grateful for that, and I thank you all in the future for everything you've done, even for us in the past, so that we were able to play safely. For the sake of Anion Drive, given what I know. Yeah, that's when you definitely want to have reverence for. I gotta tell you that. So, a lot. It's really appreciated. It's at least known by me. I'm sure there are others by now. Eventual truth. Love you all. God bless you all.